Bitcoin makes another new high. Gold tries to make another new high. Solana pushing strong still, and everything else is just in euphoria. When will this bull market end? Is this bull market going to continue even further today? Yesterday, we had even more push to the tops, but it wasn't as strong as before. When are the people that have the control going to pull this rug right from underneath you? If you buy now, are you going to lose later, or are you going to be the one laughing the loudest? Only the smart will survive this absolute chaotic buying session of Bitcoin, this overpriced, absolutely euphoric, illogical buying frenzy that's going on right now. Now, if you are new to Bitcoin, if you've seen it in the media and are worried or thinking about whether you should or shouldn't get into the market right now, my name is David Thorne. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a professional trader. I am literally just someone sat in front of a computer with a microphone looking at green and red candles going up and down. Now, I've invested in Bitcoin over 2.5 years ago, and I've been through that painful sleep when you've invested and you see your money go down the drain. But me and my wife, we stuck in, we bought some more, we continued on, we watched our money decay, and now we've watched it come back over and over again. And we've been taking profits, and we're going to be taking even more profits when the price hits these even more euphoric highs. So if you do have questions about whether you should or shouldn't buy Bitcoin right now, whether you should or shouldn't get into the market right now, and what you possibly could wait for, this is the video for you. My name's David Thorne. Thank you very much for watching, and let's jump straight into the video content. So as you can see here, as per normal, we're going to start off with Bitcoin on a weekly chart here. Now you can see that at the moment we've still got this push to the top. How this week is going to end, I have absolutely no idea. All right, but I'm guessing it's going to go up even more. All right, you know, there's using logic here, and then there's just using pattern recognition. There's euphoria in the market, so I'm guessing this euphoria is going to keep continuing unless we see a sharp absolute rug pull in about 10 seconds, and it will just drop like hell in one hour. And this is what we're waiting for, right? When is this rug pull going to happen? Just like this rug pull here on this red candle, when is the next mega red candle? And this red candle, my friends, my viewers, is a small candle. Look at that. That's not a rug pull. That was just someone falling over on the rug, right? Making it like vibrate a little bit, making it jog a little bit. Maybe a glass of wine got spilt on it. But the rug pull that's expected is going to come down to about here. Well, it's actually here. This is a light rug pull, all right? And I'm not over exaggerating. This is a light rug pull. This is just 50%. All markets correct 50%. Everything corrects 50%. So if you're thinking, no, David, it's going to go to the moon. Well, okay. If it's going to go to the moon, let's send it to Saturn or to Jupiter. Why the moon? It's just so close. Why not pick another planet? I mean, let's go to the sun. The sun is like 400 times further or something like that. Anyway, that number's probably not correct whatsoever. But, you know, if we're going to see a traditional Bitcoin rug pull, I'd expect we're coming down even further, and that might be down to the 30s. But let's just be conservative and say it just comes down 50%. You're still talking about 40,000 euros, right? So the question is when is this rug pull going to happen? It's not if it's going to happen, it's when is it going to happen, and are you going to be ready for it? All right. So what are the signs you can look for? Well, I think the signs that you can look for is, let's use our super intelligent brains that we have as human beings right now, who are brilliant at pattern recognition just by default. Let's look at this big one here, and let's look, right, what happened? It went down. Let's look at this other one. It went back up again, and then it went back down even harder. So let's come back even further. It went up with Euphoria and it came down again. Let's look here, a little bit of a smaller one. It went up and it went back down again. So there's a pattern here. We see Euphoria and then drop, Euphoria and drop, Euphoria and drop, Euphoria and drop. And this, the bigger it goes up, the faster it goes up, as you see here. The bigger it goes up, the faster it goes up, the faster it and the harder it falls. And this is not me making stuff up. I am literally using our pattern recognition here in our brain, in our eyes. We are amazing at it, right? There's no computer that can do pattern recognition like we can. We can just look at it in a split second and see this, right? So what we're looking at here, we are looking at absolute euphoria here right now. This is called parabolic moves, right? If you don't know what a parabolic move is, let's just give you a little bit of context here, right? This is what is classed as a normal linear growth, right? It depends on how much growth you have. This line here would be zero growth, all right? And if it was to go up a little bit, this would be like a little bit of growth, right? And then if it goes up even further, you'd have more growth, better company, and you'd expect like about this type of growth over time, right? But if you then start seeing like this curvature, and you're thinking, oh, something's new has happened, yeah? Or what did we see in 2020? We saw like, oh, there's an increase in something happening, an increase, and then suddenly there's like the line starts curving, and it starts curving, and then the numbers go up faster in a shorter amount of time, and they go up faster in a short amount of time. You've lived through this, people. You've lived through it, and before you know it, the number is not looking at a normal scale anymore. They're having to use logarithmic scales to show the increase in the size. And look, it goes up. And then what happened? What do we have for a time? I said we're waiting for the curve. We're waiting for the curve to flatten, right? It to flatten and peak here. Now, obviously, in 2020, we didn't have the going down. You can't have a negative amount of something like we had in 2020. But when it's financial status, you can have the same thing going parabolic in a negative way, all right, until it curves out again, and then it can go up again. Now, this is a good indication to you. There's something here that shows you pattern right now, is that when something goes up, it must come down, all right? And it doesn't matter how much crap you throw at it or what story you tell. At one point, the people are going to say, I'm not going to buy this at this one price. I'm going to wait until it goes down. And when this sentiment comes into the market, when people say, no, I'm not going to buy it. I don't care what price you say. I don't care what rubbish you tell me it's going to do in the future. Right now, I'm not going to buy it from you. And then when they start giving you a discount for it, that's when you go, actually, no, thank you. And someone else goes, I'll sell it to you for this price. And then the next person says, now there's a competition to see who can sell it at the cheaper price. Not the cheapest, but the cheaper price. And then more people come in and say, I think I can get that even cheaper somewhere else. And this price will start tanking, right? It will tank like a Challenger 2. It will tank like a whatever, and it will come down fast and anything. And the proof behind the pudding here is on this big red candle, on this red candle, on this red candle, on this red candle. And I can keep going, my friends. These red candles, these red candles. This is what happens when people start saying, I don't want to buy it, right? And do I see the goodness, the badness in Bitcoin? It's of no relevance right now. It's of no relevance because this price of Bitcoin is not going to help the standard Joe on the street buy a packet of cigarettes or buy some bread or buy some milk. Because one, he cannot buy that milk or that bread within 2 seconds, just like you can with some dollars or some euros. So the general public are not going to be able to buy anything with this. And then suddenly someone says, the bread today is now worth 3 times more. That person is going to go to the other shop and buy some other bread, right, who's selling it for maybe 2 times as much. And then if they find someone else who's selling it the same price as the day before, they're going to go there again. And that company is going to get more money to try and be able to make more bread. And this is the whole thing about economics, all right? This is what you have to look at this. This is the whole thing, is that everyone is saying there's a bull market right now, but we know what's on the opposite side of a bull market. It's a bear market. There is also a stagnant market where it just goes along, it just goes sideways for a long time. And a stagnant market tends to mean that it's found equilibrium price, right? That the bulls and the bears have both agreed upon a certain price. But until that happens, is that the bears are just sat there waiting right now, waiting patiently for this to tank, right? And the smart money who's bought it here and pumping money to get the retail traders to come in, right, to take the money off of their hands. Remember, if someone is buying, someone is also selling. So if you're buying at the top, who is selling? Why are they selling at the highest points when you need to be buying? You're saying, I want to buy right now. I want to get into Bitcoin because it's amazing. It's brilliant. I'm going to be a millionaire, right? Why are they selling? Why are they not thinking the same as you? Think about this. Why are they not having exactly the same idea as you? Because they've already done that and they're making money from you. And they know that because you haven't taken a step back and used some logic, used some reasoning and looking at the market and thinking, maybe I can wait, right? This is the whole point in why, if you know that you can get an iPhone, right, in 6 months' time at a cheaper price, you'll wait 6 months to buy it at a cheaper price. So the Apple and also the big companies, they know that if they price their iPhone too high, they won't sell it. So they price it at the right price that all of the premium buyers who will buy it at regardless any price, i.e. the people today will buy it at any price and pump their money in at any price because they don't care. They know they will make that money. But 3 months later, they release then a not so fantastic version compared to the Pro version. And they say, this is then 25% cheaper. Do you want to buy that? And you go, oh, that's nicer. But then you think, wait a minute, they're going to release an SE version in 3 months' time that's going to have the same chip, the same this, the same that. But the general quality is going to be a lot less, but it does exactly the same thing. So you wait for the SE to come out. Right? Or you then buy, this is the great thing now, you buy the old iPhone from the person who bought at the previous release of that iPhone, right, at half the price. If you're going to do it with iPhones, or you're going to do it with cameras, or do it with anything else, your newest Samsung, why don't you do it with Bitcoin as well? Buy it from the people who bought it at the top before and buy it at a 50% discount. Use the same logic that you would use in other stuff. Don't be fooled into thinking you have to buy it right now. There are massive companies right now that are paying for advertisements, paying for people to be on the news, paying for all sorts of stuff to be shown at the Super Bowl, in the Champions League, you name it. There are so many people paid right now to promote this because they're getting paid to promote it, right? They're getting paid to promote it. And you are the person, you are taking the bait. So sit back and wait. And if this is a long-term investment that you want to do, right, then take your big amount of money and split it down into small pieces, right? Into small pieces, and buy a little bit today. And I just said that, buy a little bit today. Buy a little bit at the next time that you decide to buy it, and a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit, and do this constantly, right? Have one plan and buy in small pieces at a time. Don't look at the price. Don't look at just buy at the same time, every interval, every single time. And long term over Bitcoin, you will make money because you have dollar cost average, or you've euro cost average, or you've whatever cost average into it, right? And long term, you will have a good average price that you bought Bitcoin at. And long term, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you'll be in profit. My wife and I, we bought at like 52,000 right here. We bought also at 42,000. We bought at 38,000. We bought some more, right? And it went down to here. We didn't buy here. Stupid. And my wife is still angry at me today for not doing it. But because I'd lost all faith in it, but I didn't want to see my money go. I didn't capitulate. I kept the money and I went, this is my plan up here, right? It's not actually, this is my plan. This is my plan up here. Okay, up here when I retire in 2040 or whatever, I've got this Bitcoin for the future. And this is the whole point of it, is that I went, it's fine. That's what we put that money into Bitcoin for. But if you've got this time to wait, then either dollar cost average in with discipline at the same interval all the time, same amount, keep going. If you're going to start doing it, keep going. Something that you can afford, something where you can go, let's just call it $50. I'm not going to go into the football stadium 4 times this month. I'm going to go in 3 times this month, and I'm going to take all of the money that I would have spent in the football stadium, and I'm going to put it into Bitcoin or every single month, right? Or if you buy 3 pairs of trousers per month and you don't need 3, then use the money for the 3rd pair of trousers and put it into Bitcoin every single month. Because that money over a long term will have gained money. If you buy into these things long term, you will make money, and you will definitely beat inflation. So should you buy today, right? If you're clever and if you separate your payments over small intervals, right? Small amounts over the same interval all the time, over a long term, you will make money. If you put your whole pot in today, right, your whole pot in today, and there is a 50%, or it's 50%, there's a very, very high likelihood over the coming 6 months, you will see your money just half and maybe go down even further, but then go back up again. But the question is do you have the strength, do you have the willpower, the staying power to keep it without selling? So this is the question you need to ask yourself, is can you keep Bitcoin without selling it? Okay, let's look at the proof in the pudding now, all right? Proof in the pudding. This is my plan. This is my plan and for my money. You can see here I've got sell order, and these are just lines on there. I'm not using TradingView to do sell order, and I've got small portions here, right? And I've spread them out because in the beginning I was going to sell at 67,000, and it nearly touched 67,000 yesterday. But I'm like, this is illogical. It's going to go up even higher. So I've moved the sell orders. I've distributed them a little bit more. So 75, if it does absolutely smash through these orders here, then at least I've moved some more up here. And this is not all of it. This is a tiny portion of my Bitcoin I'm selling here, just taking profits. And you know, these are like holiday money. You know, this money here is like, wait a minute, this is for the future, which I can buy back in if it's going to go down, or we've just got profits from the past 2 years. So this is my idea. If this continues on over the coming weeks, this mayhem continues on like these are going to be my sell orders, and I'm going to, if I see some strength here, like today, I might move my sell order a little bit higher and higher and higher to see whether I can get out of it as quick as possible, or get out of it at another stage, right? Now, however, if the price goes down, this is the moves that I see Bitcoin making. These are the points where I'm like, okay, this is like my strength indicator. And right now, if it can hit this old new all-time high here, right, this will be the first one. So this was yesterday, the 11th of the 3rd, and this was the previous one. So if it can come back to this one and then come and retry this new, so the new all-time high that we've got, or let's call it the all-time high that we've got, is here. And if it comes back and tests this previous all-time high, but then comes pushing through and makes an all-time high, then there's a high likelihood that it will make another new all-time high, right? But there's this big red candle here, this big green candle here, sorry. And so my assumption is if it can't break, if it can't revert or respond to this, if it can't keep this price, the likelihood is it's going to have a big red candle on this big green candle, right? And then maybe come down to move one here, and it might bounce on that and it might come back up again. Now, if it doesn't, it could retest this one here and could come down to move two. So these are all strength indicators. Now, as you can see, the further it goes down, the bigger these moves get, because the momentum increases, it accelerates, right? The more and more people get behind this sentiment of it selling. Now, right now, we've seen the sentiment of it going up. And if we go back to the daily charts here, let's go down to the bottom, right? Whoops. Let's go down to the bottom. And let's watch the sentiment increase over time. So we see down here, it made this up and down, right? And it made a little bit bigger up and down. I could measure this, but I'm not going to. And then it went sideways here. Then it made its first up, right? And it was still very much on a kind of like 45-degree angle. Now it made this next up, right, which was a little bit more powerful, but it took lots of candles to get there. And then it took its next up, which only took 3 candles to get there. And then it took its next up, which took 1 candle, but then we had, boom, massive retracement. But you see here, these candles here, they're not as strong as these candles here, right? There's more volatility there, but the price movement isn't consistent to what this was, and it's not consistent to what this was, and it's not consistent, yeah? So I'm judging what the likelihood is. Does it have the same strength here that it's got here? I would say no. My pattern recognition says, well, it's got some movement here, but it's had some volatility here, and here it was I wouldn't call it volatility. There was just real, like a breakout. There was just like there was people behind it. They had the idea behind it, and here this just seems to be euphoric, right? And volatility. So do I think it's going to go higher? Yes, because there's volatility in the market still. And so I'm guessing it's going to have the euphorias to push up a little bit higher. Do I think it's logical? No, I think it's absolutely, it's mayhem. It's mayhem right now. And why is this happening? You know, I'm trying to get on the positive of this, but I only see a future catastrophic negative from it. I can't see the good in this. I can't see how this is ever going to help anyone, because I just see a rug pull coming. And I'm being optimistic here, right? I'm being optimistic that it'll only come down 50%. And if it does only come down 50%, I'm being optimistic that that is a good correction, right? But I see some very greedy people who've made lots of money here pulling the rug on some very unlucky people. And I hope that is not you, right? Now, I just want to give you some context to why I'm making these videos, all right? And the context about me. Was a British soldier for 10 years, and I believe in helping people, right? I believe in doing the right thing, and I believe in passing my knowledge and my bad experiences and my good experiences onto other people. Now, I'm not a greedy person, but I like risk and I like opportunity. And I saw, well, there's a possibility here, 33% chance it would going up, and I didn't do my due diligence as much as I do things now. Before, when I bought in, I should have done due diligence on this, and I should have done a lot more research, but I got all wrapped up in this is going to go to the moon because I didn't buy in 2009 when I wanted to buy in 2009. So I got all wrapped up in the market or fear of missing out. And I don't want you to get into this situation, right? What I want you to do is I want you to buy into the market when you are completely happy that that was a good deal, all right? And I'm going to keep making these videos. I'm going on holiday soon, so I'm going to have to take a pause on it. But I'm going to keep making these videos, and I hope that you together with me will enjoy the ride. Now, if you have bought some down here, where are we? No, if you have bought some down here, yeah, and sold it up here, well done. That's really good. You know, that's clever. And if you've been riding the market cleverly and say, well, there's a down here, and then I'm going to buy it when it goes back up again, that's really good. That's day trading, or it's trading. I'm more making these videos about long-term investments, but you know, you start seeing here that there's a possible correction coming on this. This could just be a retest and then boom to the top again. That's 90% likely that we're going to see prices of 67, 68, maybe 70,000 this week. I don't know, but a couple of YouTube channels that I listen to, they were changing their tone about saying that it's going to correct, but yesterday they all went, this is illogical, and I see the dollar one going to 83,000, right? And these are people were like going, no, this can't go here. And now they're saying the likelihood is the next stop is here, right? The next stop is here. And we all know if the euphoria kicks in and it goes to 83,000 people, it's only going to 100,000 after that. And this is not me being illogical. This is me saying if this euphoria continues, this frenzy continues, and it gets to 83,000, which is absolute idiocy, then the idiocy has got to be enough to fuel it to 100,000. But then we're going to have the rug pull of rug pulls in a rug shop, right? Literally pulling the rug from the rug makers. With that said, if you have been watching my previous videos and watched this one, really a big thank you to you. Thank you very much for all of the support that you have done for my videos over the past week or whatever I've been making these videos. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. And I didn't make these videos for that reason. But the fact that so many people have been watching them and watching lots of the content as well, I'm super happy and super grateful. And I hope that we can keep this journey going. I hope we can keep this group of people going and so on. And I am a software developer, so if I see there's an opportunity to make something for us to communicate and to a little bit further, then I definitely will. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. Stay vigilant, right? Use logic, rationality, reasoning in everything you do, and remember, it's the person in the future that you have to answer to. It's not me you have to answer to. It's the person in the future saying, why did I do that? Regret is terrible. So when you do something today, think about how you're going to think about it in the future. And if you're panicking right now, go and have a walk, have a think about it, ask yourself some questions, get yourself to write it down while you're doing it. And if all of these statements and sentences that you've written down can all be answered with logic, are they logical? Are they rational? Have you used reason on it? And you have money that can be wasted to be put into something. When I say it's wasted, it's disposable money, right? You don't need that for feeding children or buying a house or doing anything. It's money that can be thrown away and invested for the future. If you have got that and you have answered all your own questions, then this is your decision. Then make that decision. But you are the only person who can be pointed, have the finger pointed at in the future, looking back in the past and say, I made that wrong decision, I made the right decision. But right now, from my understanding, is that I will say to you in the future, and I'm hoping that you listen, that this price of Bitcoin is coming here. All right. And this is not me just making numbers up. I am 100% that I don't know when the euphoria up here finishes, but wherever the euphoria finishes, this whip will go here. But this is constant, right? The price is going to come here. Is Bitcoin going to go up here like that afterwards? There's a massive chance, right? And I don't doubt this big blue arrow at all. And I definitely don't doubt this blue arrow here. Are we going to see another frenzy here today? Probably. Are we going to see it tomorrow? Probably, right? But where is the rug pull going to stop? I think it's going to stop here. And if it has enough momentum to go even further, then this is the place where the rug pull is going after that, right? And if the world has any other problems in it, I think 15,000 is going to be a bargain for Bitcoin. Bargain, right here. So there's still space for it to go, but there's only the future can tell, right? This white space here is where Bitcoin is going, and no one can predict this. No one whatsoever, right? They can do as much technical analysis as they want, but no one can predict this white space. And history may repeat, right? Some facts may repeat, but the price of Bitcoin and its history does not dictate its future. There are multiple things that dictate how the price can move. The economic situation, the world, and how it communicates with each other, transport chains, and all sorts of stuff. There is a huge amount of things that say how this price does or doesn't move. So you need to look at the bigger picture, right? And this is why I always look at the charts with you in a weekly basis, and you could look at it in a monthly basis, right? To look at this frenzy that's going on right now. Because if you zoom out and see a bigger picture, you'll think, well, this is a bubble. Let's just leave you on this note, right? If you don't know whether or not this is or isn't a bubble, go and research the dot-com bubble, right? Go and research 2008 financial crisis. That was a bubble too. Go and research the housing bubble that is happening still right now, that hasn't exploded yet. These are all things, and they all end in exactly the same manner, and they all start in exactly the same way. They all start with euphoria, right? And this, as you can see here, is euphoria. So when the rug gets pulled on this, is another thing. All right. With that said, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video tomorrow. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.